Good morning from Ogallala. Oh my god, huge snow poop coming up on aisle 5. It's a beautiful snowy day. We're letting the dogs relieve themselves before we head out on the road in the morning. And they had a beautiful slumber at the Travel Lodge. Gorgeous. You're doing a great job, bro. Good morning, guys. How the hell are ya? This is day 2 of full driving. Day 3 of being on the road in general. When I say full driving, I mean like a full Big Mama day of 12-ish hours. Yesterday, we did 13 and a half, which was absolutely incredible work on our part, might I say. Big ups to this man over here, who just gets behind the wheel. He says, not a care in the world. I got my audiobook on and I'm just gonna fucking zoom. Loves it. And Larry is no help, honestly. He wants to drive, but he doesn't know how. His paws are not big enough. And Finley was just telling him maybe if he was taller, he could reach his steering wheel, but Larry's just really having a hard time accepting that. So he's, for the most part, offering moral support and just being a freaking cutie.
Being the lookout.
Yeah, he's being the lookout to just make sure that we're going the right way, and he tells us when we have an exit approaching or need to keep left or something. It's great. But I'm very happy to announce that I did get a full 8-hour sleep last night, and it was fucking incredible. We both did. Shitterous. That was a big one. And I also took a shower this morning. Honestly, my hair is driving. My hair is not driving the car. My hair is drying so much faster than it normally does. I don't know why. It looks dry on camera. Maybe the air is just dry. I don't really know. Or the car is drying it. I don't even know. But alas, I got a filler up mug of coffee, of my morning mud, and it was $1 to fill up this entire freaking coffee thing. And I'm still in shock. I don't know why. But I guess you gotta have cheapo coffee at those gas stations, baby. Anyways, we are very excited for a great day of driving. There's a lot of birds in the area, and I will be watching them the entire morning until we pull off and get breakfast. Who knows when that will happen, but I'll wait. All right, guys, we just went to Delight Donuts, and instead of getting donuts, we got, well, I got an egg and cheese bagel, and just wrapped in foil, and can take home with me. And Finley got 2 ham and cheese croissants. Are they delicious? Mm-hmm. The dogs are wondering what's so delicious and meaty smelling in here. Guys, the lady who works at Delight Donuts in Nebraska, Lexington, yeah, she probably owned it. She was so nice. And they had this bulletin board in there, and up on it was like a newspaper clipping that said homecoming royalty, and it was a photo, and I was like, oh, that looks like her daughter. I'm just gonna ask her. And she was like, oh yes, that's my daughter. 2 years ago, that night made her so happy. And I was like, that's so cute. This town is so small that like she made the newspaper and stuff like that. All right, guys, Finley wanted to pull off at Bargain John's Antiques. Lots of little blue houses. Okay, Rudolph, you wait here in the car. We won't be long. I'm looking for some Christmas presents for Mr. Finley. Well, he's looking for presents, not presents for him.
So Shalon strolled to the large tent they'd set up on the deck of the barge, using boxes and tarps.
Okay guys, I haven't updated you since we went to the antique store, and I would just like to say that I did not realize this, but when we went in, Finley asked the man, Lars, who worked there, he was like, is your last name Orstrom? I saw it on the door. And he was like, Ostrom, right?
Yeah.
He said his last name is Ostrom. And then they got into this whole conversation about their Swedish roots and the origin of their names and the first people from their families who came over here, and it was very pure. Honestly, the man was great. It was a great establishment. That was one of the nicest antique stores I've ever been to in my life.
By far, dude. They literally had almost like I asked him, I was like, do you have like anything under $200 here? Like, because I am just having trouble finding anything I can afford. And he was basically like, no.
Yeah, he was like, there are some things, but I don't have like an under 200 section. And Finley ended up finding these pieces for his parents, which are really, really beautiful. And I'm sure that when we're wrapping them or whatever, you guys will see them. But like I said earlier, when I went antique shopping, the family loves antiques. Honestly, I feel like antiquing is like part of a personality trait. I don't really know many people in my family other than my mom who really love antiques, but like my mom fucking loves it. She loves like antique fire stuff and just like she collects old rolling pins as well. So that's something to note just for future years. I did too. I saw one really cool one, but it was literally like $300 or $400. I was like, it's gonna be a no from me.
She probably honestly wouldn't care that, like the difference between a $400 rolling pin and a $50 rolling pin for her would probably not be that, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
She'd be grateful for either one.
Yeah, the one in the store was really cool though. It had like pine cones and leaves and all this stuff on it. It was pretty sweet, but what can you do? I already got her a bunch of cool stuff.
We saw an awesome like $7,000 hidden safe that was,
oh my god, the
like,
safe.
Hidden. Oh, it was so cool.
It was marble topped, and then it looked like, so it was like a wooden base and then marble topped, and it looked like a piece of furniture that was just like normal, maybe like a cabinet or something. And Lars saw Finley looking at it and came over and was like, oh, now that is a cool piece right there with a story. So this is actually metal, right? Or like steel?
Yeah, it's like, the whole thing looks like a regular kind of fancy wooden table. But what looks like wood is actually just fabricated metal that's just sort of been brushed and tweaked and painted to look, to mimic wood. And then there's a big...
Whoa. I thought that man was a policeman, but it seemed like...
Yeah, that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. You know those like turnarounds in the middle of the highway, like in the median? Somebody just like did a huge turnaround and they had like, they were going really fast. They scared the people in front of us too. I don't even know. Anyways.
I thought that was a cop who was like, I'm coming.
Yeah, it was really alarming. He did have lights on the top of his truck, but it wasn't like police lights. It was like a regular, I don't even know. But anyways, yeah, it was like fabricated metal to look like wood, and there was like this secret door on the front. I wish I just vlogged it when he was explaining it to us, but
We should have vlogged it there.
I did do like an overview vlog in there of just like, they had this incredible quilt section and all of these amazing vases and like croquettes and like all of this glassware and pottery and just, oh.
It was really like,
it was
predominantly a lot of glass and ceramic ware. Really glass, I think, was what they had the best.
Yeah.
So.
It was the most like beautifully curated antique store I've ever been to. So Big John's Antiques or whatever. So,
well, they had a horrible name. It was literally called like Bargain John's Antiques, which made me be like, oh, this is gonna be like some shitty antique store that's like hopefully got really cheap prices, and hopefully I'll just run across something that's like, you know, kind of secretly good there or something like that. And it was the dead opposite. It was the most expensive antique store I've ever been to.
Yeah. And he had so many stories and was just like asking so much about us and our lives and our families and where we're from, but like in a friendly way, you know, not in like a weird way. And he was just so kind. So shout out to Lars at Bargain John's Antiques in Lexington, Nebraska. What a lad. If you guys ever are in the area, you should friggin' go, all right, if you like antiquing. And what the hell else was I gonna say? I just chugged the rest of my coffee. And oh, before I end off the antique segment of this, I just want to say that I posted this on Instagram the other day, and I never shared this on Vlogmas, but I literally set a 6 a.m. alarm the other day to wake up to get a Psychic Outlaw bandana dress. These are like one-of-one handmade bandana dresses and shirts and other bandana clothing and stuff like that, made in Austin, Texas, and they're all recycled bandanas, and you can like, I think she collects them and then it kind of curates like a color pack, and then you put in your measurements and then she makes you a dress. And I set an alarm for 6 a.m. like earlier this past week, and I woke up and I got one. And when we were in that antique store, there was this huge quilt section, and Psychic Outlaw, I'll link her Instagram handle and her shop down below and everything. I just think that what she does is fucking amazing. She has also like made to order quilt jackets where she'll like supply the quilt and then make really cool pieces, or you can supply your own quilt and then she'll turn it into like a custom made jacket for you. And so I was looking at the quilts at Bargain John's being like, do I want a quilt jacket from her too? But I'm thinking that's maybe like an investment piece that I do like later in my life, because honestly the bandana the dress was fucking expensive, but for sustainable fashion like that, like I'm so willing to pay it. And also just something that I'm gonna cherish for so long. Like you guys know that bandanas are my freaking thing, so to have it in dress form is like, oh my god, that's iconic. And so I was really thinking about the quilts, but the quilts at Bargain John's were, I shit you not, like $400 to $500 each. Like I thought that the quilts would be less expensive because I was like, it's just fabric, but all of them had like these little tags with stories on them and like where they were made and originated from, and I was like, oh my word, this would be like a multi-$100 coat if I did this. So we'll put a bookmark in it for another year. Anyways, I don't know if I've showed you guys this yet. I showed it on my Instagram, but Nebraska has these signs all over the highways that say 216 Nebraska traffic deaths this year. I saw that Santa, they were on their phone, and they're everywhere. Like every few miles there's another one. But
the whole Santa thing makes no sense to me whatsoever.
I know, it's like,
what are you saying, like, oh, don't give this dead person good presents because they were naughty and died looking at their cell phone, or like, I just don't understand.
It really makes no sense. It's kind of dark, it is. But anyways, this is pretty much what Nebraska has looked like on the highway for us. We're on 80 East, just kicking it back, listening to Finley's book. I've been getting some questions about what book we've been listening to, and I've been trying to show it to you guys so you can, like, you know, keep it in mind if you like fantasy and stuff like that.
The series is called The Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson.
I did get one comment that was like, I'm reading that series and I've been trying to distract myself when you play the audiobook clips because I don't want any spoilers.
That's funny. Yeah, you probably should, because obviously so much happens in that book, and I'm on the newest one right now, so I'm sure that there's some spoilers.
Yeah, well, for future reference for anybody who's reading the Stormlight Archives, the reason I'm putting these in the way that I do it is because I'm just including like good descriptor bits that I really enjoy listening to, and none of the stuff that's like, the Spren did this and then she said this to him, and not really like huge character plot development. It's more so just like the way that her red hair shined in the light, you know what I mean? So anyways, it's a little fun fact for any of you. And Brandon Sanderson is like a great author. I've never like physically read his books, but I do listen to the audiobooks with Finley because he's been reading this series or listening to this series throughout the whole year, right? For most of the year.
I started when I went down to LA. So
okay, so the summer, like half the year. But they are lengthy, my dudes. They are, isn't this like 75 hours?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been reading them non-stop. I finished the ones that were out months ago.
Yeah.
I've been reading The Wheel of Time since then, but then I took a break from The Wheel of Time to
come back.
Listen to the new book.
They're really nice. My camera keeps doing this thing where it just like randomly zooms in, and I tried to turn it off in my settings, and it'll be like up here when I'm like holding the camera this far away, and I just don't understand why the frame does that to me. So I'm gonna go play around with my settings and hang the hell out. We have 8 hours and 38 more minutes until our destination of Champaign, Illinois tonight. And we are literally going to be able to do this in the exact like 4-day time period that Finley wanted to do it in. We might get in at like...
I'm confused. Like, why did I thought this would take us 3.5 days, which it seems like it's going to take us 3.5 days.
Yeah.
So why did I have us getting there on the 20th and not the 19th? Did I just miscount or something like that?
Either we miscounted the days, or we thought that we would kind of like stop or get later starts, or we were just factoring in extra time.
Like, we're doing exactly what I was planning, like 12 to 15 hours a day, and an extra half day of like, you know, 6
getting to Boise,
yeah. Like that.
Yeah, I don't know, but we drove 13.5 yesterday, 7.5 almost on the first day to Boise, and then today we're doing like around 11 hours, a little bit more, probably about 11.5, and then tomorrow we'll just have to do like 10 and then we'll be there. So honestly, I don't know where the calculations went in our brains.
Yeah, I mean, you could do this in 3 days easily with 2 people. Like if you started in the morning and just did like 15-hour days, that'd be pretty easy.
Yeah. When I was planning for this trip originally, because Finley and I go into a lot of road trips that we do with no plan. No plan other than we're going to where we're going, you know? Like we'll end up in Virginia eventually. And then when we get in the car, like we'll just start going vaguely where we think we need to, and then I'll kind of like finalize the route. And along the way, especially while he's driving, since he does so much of the bulk of it, I'll be like, okay, so 11 hours from now is this city, and then we'll plan to stop there for the night, pick up the next morning, do the next leg. And that's how I do it. But a lot of people go into this whole, like, I remember when Lindsay and I used to go on road trips every single summer together, we would plan out like, okay, and then we're gonna stop here and do this because like it's more touristy, you know? So in a way that you're doing the trip where it's just like driving, it's really easy not even to like plan out the trip at all for us, not being that plan oriented. But when I was telling Annalie and her roommates about our trip, her roommate Alex, he was like, so where are you guys sleeping? You're just sleeping in the car or something like that? Just maybe taking periodic naps and just continuing to drive? And I was like, no, we're probably gonna stop some places. And he was like, oh, word, like where are you stopping? And I was like, I don't know. What kind of a question is that? I don't know where we'll stop. But he just like, he laughed out loud when I said that, and he was like, it's just so funny that like you're going across the country but you have no plan. And I'm like, you know, the plan's fleeting. it'll be finalized the day of. Like literally when we left the hotel this morning, Finley just started driving and I'm like, where are we even going? But you know what, most places that we stay are like directly off the highway and you just have to find your way back to 80 East and get back on that bad boy. So anyways, I've been blabbermouthing away, but the last little blurb and blab that I did want to say is that the app I'm using for finding hotels that have at least like COVID protocols on the information is Hotel Tonight. And so that's the app that I've been using. You can like book, you know, day of hotels and just read about like what they're doing in regards to COVID-19 and what their like air system and filtration is like and their sanitization and shit like that. And then on Airbnb, they also have something that's like, this is like 5-star sanitized rating or something like that. They have like an extra sanitized step to certain places, and then obviously if you read like recent reviews of wherever you're staying, it'll be like, this was X, Y, and Z, it was really great, or maybe it was sketchy, or whatever it might be. So if you're planning a road trip for the holiday season, I just wanted to include this little blurb because I know that a lot of you are also driving home for the holidays, whether it's in a long leg or a short leg fashion. So we're doing the long haul, folks, and Larry is literally loving it. He's sitting on the Bathin' Apes in the middle of the seat, just co-piloting, yawning away. Oh, I forgot to say that Finley also got these sunglasses from Walmart because he was so blind this morning driving. He was like, how do people live like this? With his eyes all squinted. He was not having it. And so we, when we pulled off at the antique store, he asked Lars, he said, do you guys sell any, you know, antique sunglasses? I think that might be a silly question to ask, and he goes, no sir, we don't sell that. Sorry. And so he had to go get them at the old Walmart. Because we don't keep sunglasses in the car. We're not sunglass wearing people, but are you loving them?
I've worn sunglasses for like 2 years or something like that.
Yeah, I never wear them.
Like one, like for a day or two every few years, so they're just not the kind of thing that I think about.
Do you like them now that you have them?
I like them better than squinting.
Love you, Larry. Hey, from somewhere in Nebraska still. I have no fucking idea where we are. I think we're somewhere near Omaha. I don't know, we're at a quick trip. And I feel like I'm in that part of that Phoebe Bridgers song that's like, somewhere in Germany, but I can't face it. Man, I hate this part of Texas. Except instead of somewhere in Germany, it's actually somewhere in Nebraska, but I can't face it. Good girl, Mrs. Piss. Wow, Mrs. Pisses just did a really big pee. Really awesome job, everyone. Oh, someone did a poop. I don't know who did that poop, but it was awesome, whoever did it. Really good stuff. Who wants to run? Do you want to run, Larry? Come on. bad at running. Rue's not that big of a runner, so she's kind of just watching. Wow, Larry. You're so agile, buddy.
Good boy, Larry.
Awesome.
Good boy.
All right, guys, we crossed over the Iowa border a little while ago, and this is what Iowa is looking like right now. A little bit snowier than where we were before, but not too crazy. And the sun's starting to set, so it's like so pretty, and I'm loving it. And this is actually where, well, it's not too far off from where my friend Natalie moved during quarantine. She moved to Iowa to live with her mom and stepdad, and then she ended up moving back with her mom to California, so she's not living here anymore. But I wish I could pull off and like see her because she got a dog this year, but she ain't here no more. She is away. All right, guys, it is now 11 p.m. We're about 30 minutes out from our hotel, and I just wanted to do a little quickie vlog clip and update you of what we've been doing. And it's been, well, obviously just driving, that's what we've been doing, but we were just talking about, I don't know, just life and post YouTube goals for me personally, like in the future, and also just like what I will want to be doing when I have kids slash like in my 30s and older, you know what I mean? And just throwing out ideas. So that's been an interesting conversation. But also, I got a call from my mom a few hours ago, and she was saying that Tiga, my dog back home, for those of you who don't know, I assume that most of you do, know Miss Tina Tiga. Tiga is old. She's an old girl. She's about 13. And she's been having this like pancreatitis, I believe it's called. And she had like an episode today where she was like vomiting blood, and my mom called me to tell me that my dad took her to the vet and that she was on the way to the vet, and just to like, you know, update me and let me know that that's what was happening, because Tiga's my baby girl. And so once she hung up, she was like, she's getting blood work done, I'll like let you know how it goes. And then she texted me, and I just wanted to give you guys a Tiga update. She said, Tiga has another bout of pancreatitis. She got some anti-nausea meds and blood work done at the vet. I elected to watch her all night since she is drinking on her own now. We should have her blood work back in about an hour. And I said, oh boy, let me know when she's back at home and how she is doing. I don't know anything about pancreatitis. Is it fatal? She said, there is acute and there is chronic. She is having an acute episode. Tiga is not planning on leaving this canine experience anytime soon. She is sleeping now and surrounded by love. And I said, okay, great. Tiga is my baby Bisha girl. Tell her that. I just wanted to give you guys a little baby girl update for you, since I won't be seeing her over the holidays. So just send good vibes Tiga's way, okay? Go, Tiga, go. We love you, Bisha girl. Okay, we have 22 minutes to go, and then we're gonna make it to our freaking hotel in Champaign, Indiana, right? Or Illinois? Champaign, Illinois. I keep getting all the I states mixed up. Iowa, and then Illinois, and then Indiana. Love you. Oh no, baby. Put it away.
Just have to show how beautiful the moon was tonight.
It's really stunning moon out tonight. Finley and the Bohishers are asleep. Somebody asked, and has been asking repeatedly on Vlogmas, why we call them Bishers and Bohishers and Bishimo and stuff like that. And I have no answer to that. I don't know.
They're terms of endearment.
Yeah, they're just little nicknames. We made it to the Roadway Inn, and Finley is hitting the freaking hay with the peanut dogs. And I'm over here at my desk, my Roadway Inn desk. Honestly, coming into this establishment was violently cold. Like, I was so freezing. My hands were bright red. Well, they still almost look like that, but my hands were bright red when we first came in. And it was so windy. And just, wow. I can't wait to hit the friggin' hay, but first I have to finish up edits on this vlog so that I can export it and upload it in the morning for you guys before we leave the Wi-Fi. And tomorrow is our last day of driving, so this is my last night that I'll have to do this. I'm honestly like low-key really hungry right now, but I also don't want to leave the hotel at 12 a.m. just to go and find food, so I think I'm just gonna try to forget about it, you know. I'm not hungry. I'll have breakfast soon. Oh boy. Okay, well, I'm gonna end this off here. I hope you enjoyed today's vlog and seeing us go antiquing for a little bit and then talk about antiquing for a long bit. And we really just slammed a bunch of driving through Iowa and now into Indiana? Where are we? We're in Illinois.
We're in Chicago, right?
We're not in Chicago.
Oh, we're near Chicago.
We're in Champaign, Illinois. And all the I states are just blending together at this point. So I'm just gonna sign off here. If you enjoyed this vlog, please give it a big thumbs up for me and subscribe if you want to see more vlogs. And you can go and check out my Patreon page. I actually just finished editing a cover for my Patreon, like a Christmas cover that I'm probably gonna upload when we get to Virginia. So yeah, you can go check out my Patreon for more content and stuff like that. And I will just see you guys in the freaking morning, okay? Stay smiling. Bye.